Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So in this video it's gonna be a 2-for-1. We are doing my, I almost said August TBR, hey. Okay, so I put a reminder down to film this. I put film October wrap up in TBR. I'm like, girl, we ain't there yet. Anyway, it's gonna be my August wrap up x my September TBR, which we are gonna be choosing from a little jar. So we are gonna be starting off with my August reads and then getting into my TBR. Stick around for that or skip ahead if you want to watch that first, whatever works for you. The first book that I read in August, let me pull it up because I don't remember. I technically started this in July, but I finished it in August. We have The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. I gave this book 5 stars. It's definitely a new favorite of mine and a really top book of the year, if not maybe like number 2. So this follows our main girl Delphi, and she dies, and in her afterlife this woman is there and essentially ends up giving her 10 more days in her life if she can find someone and kiss them. So you follow that aspect of her trying to find this guy and, like, you know, make him kiss her. And I feel like also with that, Delphi kind of also went on like a self-exploration journey and learned a lot about herself and really developed as a character throughout that journey. And I really liked the premise of this one, the like magical realismness, because I feel like it was done so well in a way that it was still like realistic-ish. Like obviously no one really knows what happens after you die, but it made it seem realistic and not like it was some like super out on a limb type thing. It felt like real, and these characters were incredible. I loved the side characters so much. I feel like they made the book so much better because they just helped the story so much, I feel like. And I loved the romance in this book. It was incredible, and this book just really was perfection to me. It was funny, it was sad, it made me a little mad, and I feel like the writing was super good, and just how Christy Greenwood tells a story was incredible. She did such a good job at telling this story and keeping me on my toes. So easy 5 star for this one. And then I finished Under the Surface by Diana Irvin. I give this book 4.5 stars. I really loved this one as well. We had 2 back-to-back banger books, and if you didn't see my video, I actually got sent the ARC copy of this book, which is super exciting because it was my first one and I loved it, and it was so fun creating the content beforehand and then posting it the day of. I loved doing it. So this book was really anticipated for me because I went to Paris earlier this year, and when I first was thinking about going, I also saw this book come up. I think I found it through Instagram first or something, and then it was in my Barnes cart for like months, but I didn't buy it, which I'm glad I did because I ended up getting sent this, so I feel like it like was meant to be. So yeah, I just had really hyped this book up in my mind because I was going to Paris and it was like around the same time that I was seeing this book. I was so excited to finally read it. It is about our main girl Ruby, and they are on like a class trip to Paris, and Ruby is kind of like a travel enthusiast and like she likes to see thrilling things. Long story short, they end up getting lost in the catacombs underneath Paris. So there's a small group of them that are stuck in the catacombs underneath Paris, and there's also the group of the class that didn't go and is just like standing on normal ground like looking for them, trying to figure out what happened. So I really liked that, how you're getting kind of the 2 perspectives, and like the one group doesn't know what's going on or where they are, but the other group is like, oh my gosh, we're literally trapped. I really enjoyed this story, and I thought it would kind of get boring because it's just like the same setting and the same thing over and over, but the author found a really good way to keep it entertaining and just keep me hooked, and things did keep happening even though it was the same setting and, you know, the same situation. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was super fast paced, and I really enjoy books where when the chapter ends it kind of keeps you hooked, like something at the end happens or there's a line at the end that keeps you hooked. So I loved that it did that as well, and I really enjoyed the characters in this book. Actually, I felt really connected to the characters, which is kind of surprising because I feel like it's such a short book and it's like a standalone and that's not like the main focus, but I did feel really connected to them, and I also enjoyed the romance. I would love a sequel. I said that in my reading vlog, but I was just like, I really enjoy these characters and I feel like there's definitely more to their story. It was very good. It's 4.5. Let's see what I read next because I don't know. Oh my gosh, we were kind of on a roll. Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice. I read that after this book I'm going to talk about. So the third book I read was Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Buxbaum. I just picked this up through Libby. It was available now for the audiobook, so I hit borrow and I listened to the whole thing. And tell me why this ate so hard. I ended up giving this 4.25 stars, which that's a good rating, and honestly it was a great reading experience. I loved it. It's really short book and it's so entertaining. This follows our main girl Jessie, and she is from Chicago, but she has to move to LA with her dad because he met someone new there. So she has to start this new prep school, and it's full of just like higher class people and people who aren't super nice to her. So she's trying to navigate that new school, adapting to the new family changes, the new house, the new school, all of that. But when she's doing that, she gets a message from someone named SN is their like screen name. They basically offer to kind of give her tips and tricks on the school and like, you know, like who's who, what means what events are what. And she's really like, that's so nice of you. But this person knows who she is, but she doesn't know who they are. So it's kind of like one of the like anonymous chat tropes. Like you're trying to figure out, like the one person doesn't know who it is, but the other person does. So throughout this book, you have the mystery of who SN is, which like I kind of picked up on it, but it was still fun to watch her figure it out. And this book was just really entertaining. Like there was constantly stuff going on, like high school drama, and it was so fun to listen to because I was just so into the audiobook. So I definitely recommend the audiobook. It's definitely like cheesy YA high school whatever, but I ate it up. Definitely at some points I was a little cringed out, but I was really able to look past that and enjoy the story. So highly recommend this one. It was a great time. And then I read Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice, which is Finley Donovan 4. I have loved this series so much. I give this one 4.25 stars, but like I think it's gonna be in next week's reading vlog. But I said in that video, I was like, when I'm reading this, it's a 5-star book. Like I cannot put it down, and then when I do put it down, I'm thinking about the book. But after finishing it, I haven't really thought about it much, so that's why it's a 4.25. But like while reading it, it's a 5-star. You know what I mean? But this one was super fun. I'm not gonna get into the plot because it definitely goes off of the first 3 books. You definitely need to read those first. But I thought this one was super entertaining. All these books are kind of like outlandish and like very exaggerated, but they're just a blast. Like I had so much fun with this series. I think it's gonna continue. I don't know for sure though. But yeah, I had so much fun with this one. This series is so much fun and so entertaining, and I actually really like the characters. Like they're actually good characters that I care about and want to learn more about. They all have a lot of depth and backstory. So yeah, I highly recommend this series. Okay, and then I read Don't You Forget About Me by Mahari McFarlane. This book I wanted to pick up because Haley Pham, it's somewhere behind me, Haley Pham gave 5 stars to Just Last Night, and just recently 5 stars to another one of this author's books. So I wanted to pick up this one because I've always seen the cover and the golden retriever on it really just got me. So I placed a hold on it for Libby. It came through, so I listened to the audiobook. I'm still gonna read the author's other books, but I just don't really understand why it'd be a 5-star. I gave it 3 stars. It was entertaining and I did like some parts of it, but it was just kind of weird. I don't remember really what the summary is, but our main girl, she's dating this like comedy guy, and I did not like him at all. You know, I really don't even know how to explain this book because I don't know what's on the back of it and what's not, but I feel like it was a very, very, very slow burn, which is fine, but I didn't really vibe with it or care about the characters that much. I did like, there was some character growth moments and some just like learning more about the main girl moments that I really enjoyed, and I liked at the end how she kind of found herself and grew, I guess. But other than that, it was kind of boring and mundane. Not a lot happened at all, and yeah, that's it. Also, there should have been more of the dog. And then, oh crap, I forgot about that book. I just saw another book I read and I'm like, oh gosh. And then I read Heartstopper Volume 1. This isn't a reading vlog. Go watch it. I gave this 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. I was kind of lenient going in about the graphic novel style because I haven't read one since like probably elementary school or that age. But I had no problems getting into this or really understanding the story. I really loved it so much. I feel like this Volume 1 was a great introduction to the characters and the story, and I feel like a lot actually happened in this. So I loved it so much. I definitely fell in love with Nick and Charlie in this, and especially Nellie the dog. She's the star of the show. I love that dog. I love dogs in books, if you can't tell, in general. I just love this book. It was so sweet, and I feel like it was a great representation of high school and some of the struggles people face in high school. I really enjoyed it. I don't have much more to say because it's like, it's just a great book. And then I read Summer Sisters by Judy Blume. This book I was really excited to read. I don't know why. Maybe because one of the main girls' name is Caitlin, but I was just really excited and I was really kind of let down. I gave this book 2 stars. I honestly think I should have DNF'd it, but I kind of just wanted to get towards my reading goal more, and I was slightly interested in how the story ended up, but yeah, it was a very weird and interesting time. I just didn't really like the characters, especially one of the main girls who may or may not have the same name as me, but yeah, I just did not like them. I couldn't connect at all to the things they were doing, the things they were going through. Like, I understand the point of this book was to showcase their lives and some of the decisions they made, but their decisions sometimes just pissed me off, and there was a lot of times where one of the main characters, I was just like, what are you actually doing? Like, I was just in shock with some of the decisions she made, and I just did not really like this book at all. I forgot I read it as well, if that adds anything. On a better note, I read Heartstopper Volume 2. This is gonna be in next week's video as well. I give this one 3 stars. Not like a critique or anything, I don't have any critiques, but simply I just felt like not a ton happened in this one, which is fine. Like, I still ate it up. I binged this in less than an hour. Like, it was still a great time, but I do just feel like there could have been a little more plot in this, but I totally get it. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm still gonna binge this series and love every second of it, but yeah, I just wanted a little more plot. I feel like not a lot happened, but it was definitely a good stepping stone book, and watching their relationship grow and what, you know, the characters grow as well, I feel like it was a good, like, self-discovery, relationship discovery book. So I gave this one 3 stars. I totally love this series. Please go read it and then watch the show. I've only watched episode 1 so far because I want to finish the series and then binge it, because I'm a show binger. Like, I can't watch 1 episode at a time. I binge the whole show, and I don't want anything spoiled to me because I think the first season's like multiple volumes if I'm not mistaken, so I don't want to spoil anything because I'm a binger. Like, I will just forget that I need to shut the episode off and then spoil stuff. And then the last book I read this month was Lovely War by Jessica Barry. Where did I get Jessica from? Is it Julie? Julie Berry. I give this another 5 star. I love this book so much. These characters, oh my gosh, they feel like they're my friends, or like I know them. Like, they are so developed in this book. It's actually crazy. Like, I love them so much. So this is set in wartime. It's told kind of in an interesting way. The goddess Aphrodite is telling the story of these people. Like, something happens, she has to tell the story at Mount Olympus and share it with other gods. So you get the god aspect and how she's telling the story, so it's kind of told in like a narrator way, which I really liked, and I love Greek mythology, so I really enjoyed it. So you get that, and these characters, I literally love them so much. There's 2 romances you actually get in this book, and I really liked both of them and learning about both of them. I don't even want to tell you guys like what it's fully about, like the story, the romance, all that, because it is just so incredible. You need to read it for yourself. It did take me a bit to get super into it because, you know, just learning about the characters and how it's like historical fiction, it's kind of harder to get into, but once I was into it, I couldn't stop. The romance in this is absolutely incredible, and I feel like with historical fiction romance, it just feels so much more pure and wholesome and just like soulmatey. I feel like I felt the same with Divine Rivals, that they're just so meant for each other. So I definitely want to read more books like this, so if you have any recs, please let me know. I loved this so much. Their romance was too, I can't stop talking about it, but it was incredible. Please go read this book. I definitely, oh my gosh, I'm just realizing that she has an other books you may enjoy section. I will be reading those. But yeah, this was such a 5-star read. It was so emotional. I felt every emotion possible in this. I was crying, I was happy, I was a little upset, not like at the book, but just like forces that were coming towards the characters. But yeah, this was incredible. Please go read it. Okay, it's time to pick some books from the TBR jar. I haven't used this thing in a very, very long time. I don't even remember the prompts I wrote, but I think I'm gonna pick 4 because September's kind of a crazy month, and also maybe I can put them in a reading vlog then. Pink cover. Ooh, 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 ooh. For pink cover, I will be picking Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez, who is one of my favorite authors, and I have not read this one yet, and I'm so excited because I have loved all of her books so far, so I cannot wait to get to this one. I don't know what it's about, and I'm gonna go in blind because that's how I like it. There's a dog on the cover. What more could I ask for? Next one, I'm gonna try and get to the bottom. People on the cover. It's like any romance book. I know what one I'm picking. Well, I almost said You with a View. No, that's her other book. The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce. I have just heard incredible things about this book, so I am so hyped up to read this one. I don't really know what it's about, but I think there's a wedding in it. It sounds so fun. I cannot wait to read this. Like, I want to read this right now. I've just heard incredible things. I'm just in a mood for like good books. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this month I read a lot of really great books, but I also read a couple that weren't so great. So I just want to keep up with that vibe and get some bangers read. Yeah, I hated that. 2 more. Cover You Love. Okay, low-key. But should I do not a romance? Ooh, I got one. I got one. The Gilded Wolves. Look at this cover. It is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I love it so much. So this is again about Paris, which I've been obsessed with reading about. I think this one, it's a fantasy, so it's kind of Six of Crows vibes, where there's a band of different types of people and they have to, I think, find something or work to get something, and it says what they find might change the course of history, but only if they can stay alive. So this sounds super good. I think I started to read this. Yep, I got to page 6. Definitely gonna have to restart this. I think this is one where it's definitely gonna take me a bit to get into because it's just more, I don't know, more complicated. But yeah, I think I'm really gonna like it once I do get into it. Okay, last one. And there's a book I definitely want to read, but I don't know. Starts, dang it! I thought it just said, has the in the title, and I was gonna pick Lying in the Deep by Diana Urban, who wrote Under the Surface, that I gave 4.5, but starts with the. I also want to read Heartstopper Volume 3, but that's just called Heartstopper Volume 3, and that doesn't even have the in it. I have In the Weeds, but it has to start with, oh, frick, I found it. We have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This is the last Ashley Poston book I have to read, and I've been really wanting to read this one because I gave 7 Year Slip 5 stars, and then I gave A Novel Love Story 2 stars. So I have no clue how I'm gonna feel about this book, so I really want to see about it. I think this is another like magical realism kind of paranormal type romance book, and I'm really excited because I do love Ashley Poston's writing so much, and I'm really intrigued to see if I'm gonna like it or not. Alright guys, here is my TBR for the month of September, and I think I definitely will try and do a reading vlog for these books. First up, we have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and then we have The Gilded Wolves by Roshani. There you go. And then we have The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce, probably my most anticipated out of this list. And then we have the Happily Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. So we have a great mix of books that I'm really excited to read for the month of September. And let me know if you've read any of them or the ones I read this month in August. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.